This episode is about delivery guys. Someone asked package delivery people of Reddit, "What's the weirdest thing you've seen on the job?" And here are the answers. Delivering a pizza one night. I got up to the door and rang it. As I'm waiting, I keep hearing this repeated short sound. I kept looking up and couldn't see anything. As the customer opened the door, I looked down at my feet. There was a chicken that snuck up on me. One of my friends is an amputee, though you really can't tell when he's wearing long pants unless you really look. He was delivering to a house when a big Rottweiler came snarling around the corner and clamped down on his prosthetic leg. The dog releases, looks quizzically at the leg, and goes for another bite. Then he just let go and sat down with an expression of, "Welp, I tried." The owner wouldn't believe his precious would bite anyone, so he got blacklisted in the system as a carry-out-only customer. I worked for 4 years as a FedEx delivery driver. I went to go deliver a box to this one house that was on a moderately busy street. Just as I was going up the driveway, I noticed at the corner of my eye something small moving at a distance of around 25 feet. I looked and it was a baby of about 2 years old in diapers getting ready to cross the street. I yelled at the baby, "Stop," and it actually did. I told him to come to where I was and had him sit on the lawn while I rang the doorbell of the house I was delivering to. A lady answered the door and I asked her if she was missing a baby. She was shocked and I explained that there was a baby about to cross the street and is now on her front lawn. She immediately stood by the child while I went to 2 other houses asking if they were missing a child. The police were called. After waiting for about 15 minutes, we heard a woman's voice yell, "Oh, there you are," and we saw a woman in her late 60s walk up to the kid, and the baby immediately wanted to be picked up by this woman. She thanked us profusely and said her daughter would kill her if she found out what happened. The police arrived and everything was sorted out. What happened? The grandma left the garage door open and the baby got out from a door left ajar. The baby walked a distance of about 2 blocks before he got to where I was and was actually stepping down from the curb onto a moderately busy street. I was a process server for about a year. Mostly for people not paying bills or child support, so I frequently served the same people multiple times. This one lady always answered the door in a robe open in the front, acting like there was nothing going on. At least 3 or 4 times. Not flirty or anything, just boobs and bush for all to see. I had another lady ask me if there was anything she could do to not have me serve her while stroking my arm. I served papers to a couple that I knew previously. They were regulars at a restaurant I worked at and were great tippers. We knew each other by name. It wasn't awkward at all, and they invited me in and asked how I was. I went back 2 weeks later to serve them again, and the wife broke down crying, begging me not to serve them. That was rough. And finally, I had a guy at a construction company punch me in the face and block me from leaving. He said he was going to call the cops on me for trespassing if I didn't take the papers back. I laughed, took out my phone, and called the cops. I've never seen a guy move his foot faster than after he heard me say, "Hi, I've been assaulted and I'm being held against my will at blah 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 construction, and my assaulter would like to talk to you. Hold the phone to the douche." One more. I had to serve a doctor with an order to appear which has to be served to him as opposed to a sub-serve, which is where I can leave it with a secretary or roommate. In my experience, doctors are the worst to serve. The document had a check to reimburse for documents they had to provide at an earlier time. I told the office manager that I had to deliver the check to Dr. So-and-so without telling her I was actually serving him at the same time. She is annoyed and goes and gets the doctor out of surgery to come take delivery of the check in the waiting room. He came out in scrubs holding his hands up to not get them dirty. I then served him the papers and he was super cool about it. The office manager looked like she wanted to kill me. I delivered products to people's houses during graveyard hours and we would get the same customers weekly. On our Wednesday nights, I would make deliveries out to houses up in the mountains in the middle of the night. Always had to deliver to a customer that just has a bunch of mannequins that were out-tifted lined up in front of their house. Nothing necessarily happened, but I was always scared as hell delivering to that house. Oh yeah, and I've had a gun pulled on me before delivering to those secluded houses late at night. FedEx delivery driver here. Delivered to a retirement mobile home in Vegas one time. Had an overweight, tall old man open the door. Had a goatee with a bunch of yellow crumbs on it. Immediately told me you look like you would be delicious if eaten. I laughed nervously and gave him his package. Started calling me Prince Charming and handsome after he saw how nervous I got. Seasonal UPS worker here. Got flagged down by an old guy wearing only a robe and no shoes, seemingly came out of nowhere. Wasn't sure what was up, it was maybe 6 a.m. so still dark and my ass wasn't stopping. He catches me about a block away delivering to a house. I apologize, like I was in a hurry, and didn't see him. He asks me if I'm going to hell, and in the awkward silence, hands me a fruitcake and a thick stack of evangelical religious literature. Shipper, but the UPS chick's reaction was priceless. Worked for a company that made X-ray equipment and needed to ship some testing equipment. Packaged it, insured it, waiting for UPS. Driver asked why thing was insured for $35,000. It was because it was a preserved human head used for calibrating X-ray equipment. UPS driver did not want to take it. Front yard had a 2-foot-tall wire fence, which I thought was weird, but whatever. Run up to the door, drop the package off, and as I am walking back to my truck, I see a bit of movement out of the corner of my eye. I look down and there is a massive tortoise, maybe a foot or two away from me. It scared the shit out of me. Who has a tortoise pet hanging out in their front yard? I delivered pizza and I am black. Once I delivered to this house, and as I am walking up, I hear a young kid say, "The pizza man is a N-word." I hear this voice from inside, and I am just blown away. The adult comes outside and gets the pizza, no apology, no addressing the situation, just a quick transaction. I guess I didn't see anything weird, but I heard a really racist kid. I am not one, however, I once opened the door to get my delivery and had, unbeknownst to me, yogurt on my chin. A few weeks later, the same dude delivering me my stuff is back, and I opened the door with porridge on my chin. I am not an elderly lady, but I sure as hell seem to eat like one. Waiting for him to come next time, wondering what food will get stuck on my chin again. I was a door-to-door salesman, so I guess you could argue I was delivering a pyramid scheme to unsuspecting homeowners. A man sporting an erection, with only abused and yellowing tighty-whities, partially shielding me, ran out of his front doorway and down through his dead garden towards me. All I heard was my partner yelling for me to get running, so as I turned, I see this crazed old white man leaping off his lawn onto the road, hightailing it towards me. I ran by a flock of seagulls. So, years ago, I ran a snack route that involved me picking the orders out of the back of a box truck before making my delivery. My route was in some of the not-so-great areas of Arizona, Hatcher Road, Sun Islip. One day, I'm picking an order for a customer, and a crackhead lady jumps at the doorway of the back and just starts dancing, if you want to call it that. Anyway, she babbles something incoherent at me and starts lifting up her shirt. No, I'm good. Thanks, is all I say to her. To which she just storms off. Moments later, I'm in my customer's store and that same woman sticks her head in the doorway and babbles something else, incoherently. The store owner says, "Hey, get the duck out of here. You know you're not supposed to be around here." Never saw that woman again. I work at a restaurant near a local mall in my town, so we get all sorts of people, often a lot of homeless people. One day when I was up front taking orders, when these three gentlemen enter, two in suits and the other in rags, but they all walked in together. The man in rags has a chicken on shoulder, while the other two men are in suits. The chicken man tries to convince me that he's a magician and that the two men he walks in with are gonna buy him some custard. The two men are obviously uncomfortable, but can't help but to laugh at the whole thing. Eventually I take their order and the men felt obligated to buy him custard, but technically we're not allowed to have any animals that aren't service animals in the building, nor would I force these men to buy another person's food, so our manager intervened and told the guy to wait outside. She goes out for a bit and talks to him. During this whole time the chicken remains still on this man's shoulder, and my manager ends up giving him custard for free. Delivering to a trailer park. Two German shepherds, pissed as hell I'm there, tied to the shitty porch attached to trailer. Shrek-sized woman comes out wearing a dress that looks like it's made from a shower curtain. Woman proceeds to reel in the two shepherds on their chains as if she caught a couple of gar. I'm trying to yell at her that I'll just leave it on the car so she can grab it after I leave. She continues to reel in the pissed off dogs and her tits pop out of the shower curtain in the struggle. Actually looked like that little comic where dude tells chick to calm her tits and her tits are flying in the air while she says no. Almost died laughing in my truck. Thanks for listening. Hit the subscribe button for more funny and also creepy videos. And please be nice to your delivery person. Make sure you don't have a chicken sitting on your shoulder while opening the door. And don't forget to tip if you have the chance, as these guys have a tough job.